Hello there, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, and welcome to Mega Man, the game, which has a title screen that appeared much faster than I anticipated, and it is literally the loudest game on the planet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lower the audio, the master volume, down a bunch. Especially the music. I'm sure the music in this game is quite fantastic, but for the time being, I need to actually listen to myself think. And yeah, it's suddenly a blind playthrough pretty much out of nowhere. If you want to have an explanation as to why my channel was inactive for so long, well, I did send out a handwritten memo to pretty much all of my subscribers not too long ago, and I did get at least 2 responses back telling me that it would have been far more efficient to just record a video on the internet, whereby it would be much easier for everyone to see the reason behind why I haven't uploaded anything in so long, and you can check out that previous video if you so desired. But to give you the short and sweet version, I was busy, and I procrastinated. It was kind of a mixture of both. So, let's just begin by starting a new game. This is going to be a completely blind playthrough, and this game was actually recommended to me, and subsequently bought for me by MageBones. Yes, another blind playthrough where the gifter in question was by Mr. MageBones. So here you go, Bonehead, I'm finally getting to this game a little sooner than I anticipated. I had a few projects that I wanted to get done before, but I decided it would be best to just get a playthrough done because I've delayed on doing a playthrough for a while, and I do enjoy doing these sorts of blind playthroughs, and even walkthroughs for that matter. Go check out my Doom 3 walkthrough if you so— okay, shameless plug is over. Let's actually begin by playing the game. And apparently I have multiple characters I can not select. I can see the silhouettes, but it appears as though I'm going to have to go as Mr. Hornhead right here, so let's dig our way through the main storyline as the game suggests. Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope. Register your name. Oh, I love these name registration things. I wonder how much of a limit there is to these. I don't really know the controls either. I'm kind of going through this blindly, but I expect there to be a tutorial of sorts. Now, I need a sophisticated name to stick with for this adventure, because it's going to be something that represents the honor of being a knight, the courageous and valorous efforts of Mr. Shovel Knight, and he needs to have a name that isn't as generic as Shovel Knight, because that would just be embarrassing. So let me think about this for at least a couple of minutes, and I'll get back to you on that one. I think that'll suit us just fine. Let's begin this adventure. Enter body swap mode. What is this? Before you begin, would you like to swap the bodies of any characters in the main cast? You can perform this action at any time in the pause menu. I mean, on the one hand, this does seem sort of beneficial, but I kind of want to stick to one character and just sort of run with that. I think there are multiple playthroughs you could do of this game, where some characters have different abilities. Maybe I don't really know too much about what happens inside this fantastic tale, but I think it might have a similar level design that could be akin to Knuckles the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, I think, where there are alternate routes depending on which character you choose for that same stage. But God, I'm being given such a difficult moral choice at the very beginning of the game where I haven't even touched the controls just yet. This is— ugh, I'm just gonna go with no. Alright, there we go, Sir Jerkoff. Let's begin this adventure. Choose this profile soitantly. We have a lot of profiles to choose from. I'm glad that they thought ahead with this sort of thing instead of establishing multiplayer, you know, online multiplayer. Long ago, the lands were untamed and roamed by legendary adventurers. Of all heroes, none shone brighter than Shovel Knight and Shield Knight. But their travels together ended at the Tower of Fate, when a cursed amulet wrought a terrible magic. When Shovel Knight awoke, the tower was sealed and Shield Knight was gone. His spirit broken, a grieving Shovel Knight went into a life of solitude. But without champions, the land was seized by vile power, the Enchantress, and her Order of No Quarter. Now the tower is unsealed and devastation looms. A new adventure is about to begin. So they decide to send the guy in with the spade instead of a sword because, you know, swords are pretty much overrated. Let's get digging. Oh yeah, here we go. So I'm a dude, with the controls. Oh, wow, this is... It actually uses WASD controls. That is certainly interesting. Oh, I apparently have an inventory. And here we go. Okay, this is... I have the option to body swap even though I said no. That's weird. Maybe it doesn't work and it's just like a feature that doesn't do anything. Oh, what is this? I'm so confused. I should probably not confuse myself with everything, but I could probably just check the controls real quick. Or not. It's just... What? Oh, there we go. So apparently the enter key doesn't do the thing. I'm just gonna check these out real quick, and then I'll cut back to when we're actually gonna play the game, because I'm a little lost puppy inside these control options. Okay, I believe I've established how the controls work. So, I only appear to have a single move, but there are also sub-weapons, apparently. According to the spoilers inside the control schemes. But, I'm a dude. I got horns and a shovel. And I can just sort of stand around, you know, strutting my stuff. Look at that. Oh yeah. Dance to the beat of the music. Dance Dance Evolution. Now in pixel format. Yeah, it's got that same look with a lot of indie games that seem to capitalize on that pixelated effect of video games, because this is how all video games looked back in the day, ergo it makes people nostalgic, and that causes you to get profits. But, you know, I could dig it. Get it? Because we got a shovel as a weapon? This is gonna be a long playthrough. So, I can... Alright, that counts as a hitbox. Very good. You'll have to excuse me if I'm a little bit slow on the uptake when it comes to platformers. The last platformer I probably ever touched, and even then it's not an official platformer, would be Mushroom Kingdom Fusion, actually. In fact, my channel name, my very old channel name, was sort of a dedication to that old fat game, which was cancelled eons ago, which is kind of depressing. But I'm gonna collect all of this gold and not keep my mind focused on other things. For actual platformers, I remember one platform I actually sunk a lot of time into was Knuckles, the Enchilada 3, and Knuckles. Way back in the day when I had a Mega Collection, Sonic Mega Collection Plus for the PC. That was on my old computer, and unfortunately is dead now. It's been dead for years, and I still haven't written the proper obituary for it just yet, but... Oh, can I... Oh, okay, so if you just hold down, then that actually points the shovel in where you want it to go. There's no upward slash, but... Alright, I'm gonna... Oh, hang on, I sort of messed that up. It's gonna take me a little bit of time to get adjusted to these. But yeah, the only platformer I really ever sunk so much time into was probably Knuckles 3 and Knuckles. Sadly, never really been too big on platformers, and oh god, I'm such a pansy that bubbles actually deal very adequate damage to me. But I'll probably adjust to it over time. Look at this ladder climbing. Woo! It's kind of nice to get back into this sort of territory, I won't lie. It's kind of refreshing to play a game that isn't, you know, Serious Sam. I look at my library, my Steam library every day, and I think, okay, what's the game I want to play today? I have all of these games that I haven't installed. I think I'll go play Serious Sam for more. That's unfortunately my mentality with a lot of video games, is that if I find one that I happen to enjoy quite a lot, I'm only going to stick with that game for the most part, and I'll forget that every other game in the universe exists. It's a bit of a dull lifestyle, you can imagine, but, you know, that's why I have, like, these blind playthroughs that occur on the occasion for this channel, because it's a method of introducing me to new games, and it pushes me out of my comfort zone, so I can't really complain too much. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and dig up more stuff. It's an interesting little mechanic. I like how you can find more treasure this way. Oh, spikes. I hate spikes! But at least we're not oriented inside a three-dimensional environment where puzzle platforming becomes a hell of a large issue. Oh, whoa, eh? Oh, it's a boss. Okay, maybe if I jump on top of it, like this... Huh. Alright, I half expected the boss to be putting up slightly more of a fight, but that's certainly was a good way to introduce the mechanics of the shovel. Very much like Zelda 2, that's what I'm finding the reminiscent comparisons of. Although people could probably think of a much more rich example, I'd imagine. Because Zelda 2 is a bit of a divide when it comes to its fans, I imagine. Do these skulls actually do anything, or... no? Huh. I like how you can sort of kick them around like a football whenever you slash with your shovel. That piece of grass over there looks suspicious. Specifically that one down there, inside the void. I wonder if I can reach that somehow. Maybe that's a secret. I wonder if this game actually does have secrets. I suppose that is one thing I will have to investigate during the editing process. Boop, boop, boop. Give me all them jewels. I'm very much bejeweled by the amount of treasures inside this domain. Huh? Oh. Oh, explosives! Okay, I see what it is. I thought that was going to be the end of the campaign right there. That probably would have been an ideal time to actually figure out if this recording is going to turn out properly. And I'm sure it would. Maybe I'm just being a little bit paranoid about how things are going to be towards the near future, where in the end I'll have to check and see if the recording actually turned out smoothly and my voice was not defaulted to maximum volume on my microphone, because that's a thing that my microphone has been doing for months now, and it's been pissing me off. I cannot figure out what the cause of that is, but I'm always paranoid that my voice is going to be much louder than it needs to be. Diverging pathways. Okay, I know, I'll go this way. Apparently, that was the wrong decision. You'll have to pardon the ineptitude of this old fossil. I'm just not all that adequate when it comes to platformer games, and my method of solving puzzles and conundrums such as a fork in the path, not the most sophisticated, but I feel as though the journey back towards this place has given me inspiration to go to the left, which was previously blocked off, and look at that! There appears to be an ancient musical scroll out in the distance where I can learn the Song of the Sirens in order to level up my glorious spade. Woohoo! What does this do? It's something. I'll give it that. Ooh, stalwart plate. Your original armor, simple but sturdy. Music sheets! Visit the bard to return music sheets. So that's probably like an in-game soundtrack that you could probably access. That's kind of adorable, I guess. Alright. Let's not fall down the bottomless pit, and continue onwards on this grand adventure. I do like this music so far. I will actually not be hesitant to comment on the adequacy of the soundtrack. I'd say that I can probably appreciate this one for what it's worth. It's a pretty good, damn fun soundtrack. Pretty damn fun soundtrack, Mage. You picked a good game for me. Although I still don't really care much for the soundtrack of Rip and Tear Your Underwear, the video game about emotions. I played it on my channel a while ago. But, you know, the benefits of playing that game, you know, on my channel, it being as less popular compared to most other channels anyway, is that I had less people telling me what to do in that game. So, you know, here's my general tip for anyone who might be a newcomer to the whole YouTube scene, if you want to be doing them Let's Plays and stuff. Start off with Underwear. That's always a very nice video game to start off with, and nobody will tell you what to do because you don't get any attention for all the crap that you pump out. Woohoo! I'm sorry for the rather depressing subtext. I'm not trying to shamelessly get you to subscribe or anything. I honestly don't really care. I'm just kind of doing this for fun because it lets me release my rather loud side of my personality. I don't get many words much out in real life, mostly because I struggle to do English half of the time, even though it's my native language, as you can probably tell. In the end, as long as I'm rambling to people who may or may not be watching this video, who cannot interact with me in real time, hey, thanks. I do appreciate your view and support, because it means I'm bringing some form of joy to your life while playing a game about the Shovel Knight and his glorious adventures, dubbed as Sir Jarkov. Okay, let's jump over there, grab that jewel. And another fork in the path. Well, the ladder looks a little more obvious of a path as where I'm supposed to go. This place looks... Alright, that may have been a judgment that I should not have cast. Maybe the ladder is not the intended path? God, is this gonna be one of those games where it actually does have multiple pathways? Because this is bothering me already. I thought this would be something limited only to the character you selected, but no. No, there are many different ways you could go. Well, this is the one that has a checkpoint on it. Yeah, I suppose I may as well just hit this first, so that way I can always return to this place if need be. I.e. when I jump down into a bottomless pit of spikes again. It'll give it time, it'll happen. Come on. Meh. 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 See, this is my carrot, see? I'm gonna make a fortune in the stocks. I'm gonna be selling all the vegetables. Open this up. Alright, that was a pretty cute animation. Once again, there is a little bit of charm to the pixelated style in this, as long as it's not oversaturated. Yet, that's kind of an issue that I seem to have with a bunch of modern games lately, is that for a lot of time, there used to be this trend, most notably with indie games, how they would always try to, quote, air quotes right here, emulate the feeling of classic Nintendo Entertainment System games, end quote. And the issue with that is that they just kind of make everything look like pixels, but it gets a little bit oversaturated after enough time. You see a lot of people trying to capitalize on a very popular art style, and eventually it sort of loses its meaning for me. Like, for me personally, I don't really mind much of like a realistic approach to video games. I suppose I've just gotten adjusted to that fact, even though, again, everyone was trying to capitalize on that at some point or another. God, when did we stop trying to make video games look realistic? But nowadays I'm seeing sort of an interesting regress, where video games are trying to look realistic, but also cartoony at the same time. You know that look. I suppose you could say it sort of started around the time Team Fortress 2 was released, but it's really being popularized by games, IPs such as Overwatch, and everything sort of has this sort of bouncy, really fluid movement to it. It's not just limited to the graphics, but also the animation as well. I don't know. It's just, I think about it now, and I'm kind of like, when did we ever stop? In our ultimate quest to find the most realistic looking video game art style possible, what with the modern engines and graphics we can achieve nowadays, I kind of like those days back then where everything was more simple. Games that did look like, you know, Half-Life 1, Serious Sam, even Doom 3, for instance. That game, which was full of its incredibly realistic approach to very dark shadows and lighting. I'm just gonna slap you with my shovel. It had that special art style to it that was sort of cartoony, even though the developers were insisting that they were trying to go for as realistic a look as possible. It could just be the nostalgia talking, honestly. Well, he just accepted his fate rather quickly. I have no quarrel with this. Alright, we'll call it a draw. Up we go. And now we shall conclude this tangent by saying, hey, pixelated art style, now that not everyone's trying to capitalize on it, I think I can safely say that I can appreciate it in moderate dosages. I think that's what every art style in a video game needs. It's just a moderate dosage of a little bit of everything, and eventually the times where games that look a bunch like Overwatch will eventually pass, and we'll probably find something else, some sort of other interesting postmodernist art style to approach with. But for the time being, I'm going to appreciate the little classics now and then, and maybe this game will eventually be considered a classic. Ooh. Thank you very much for that particular beauty. I'm going to impress my girlfriend with all these jewels. Wherever she is. I heard she disappeared at the start of the game. Where am I going? This way? I mean, usually... Oops. As I was previously commenting on before I decided to leap down into the chasm like a complete and total moron, usually it's sort of a defiance to go to the left in these platformers, so I'm gonna trust my gut instinct and do just that, and what do you know? There was a box full of jewels. I gotta collect all the jewels, the most fabulous empire I'm going to create with all these jewels. Another thing I'd actually like to comment on about the character's movement so far is that the controls are actually, you know, okay. A little bit perilous on, you know, the sizes of blocks that happen to be, you know, 1 pixel wide. But so far, this guy's not too slippery, and every time you jump, as long as you're not holding any keys down, then you'll pretty much stop on a dime, and that's very good for precision platforming. I approve of this. Oh my god, there's a checkpoint right here. I'm so terribly sorry. I'm going to be editing out all of the extra fluff where I happen to be, you know, returning to a place in case I died. Oh, cutscene. I knew you'd show your face sooner or later, the cerulean coward! Yes? Oh. Turn back, Jerkov! There's nothing here for you anymore. Stand aside, Black Knight! I have no quarrel with you. I must return to the Tower of Fate. Your time away has dulled your senses, can't you see? This entire valley has been conquered by the Enchantress, and her invincible knights of the Order of No Quarter stand between you and the tower. But none of that matters, because anyone after the Enchantress has to go through me. Steal thy shovel! Let us begin this grand fight. Okay, I'm gonna subscribe to... So he's just gonna run around? Is that all the... Huh. Oh, no, he has strategies. There we go, he got the first hit. Meh. Okay, you're gonna laugh at me? I'm gonna strut my stuff in front of you. Oh, you have potions. I wonder if I will actually get some sort of potion myself. Aha, I can cancel out his jumping attack. That is fancy as all hell. Wow, his shovel swipes are actually a lot more adequate than mine. Oof! I am panicking. Yeah, you could probably tell that I am not adjusted to this sort of combat style. Yes, have a giggle at my expense. I am not gonna live through this, I don't think. Unfortunately, you're going to see the death of me at the very first boss of the game. But that's just how I am with platformers, is that I'm not all that experienced with them. A little bit rusty on these controls. But what I do appreciate about this game so far anyway, is that it does not have a live system. You pretty much have infinite tries. Do I have to go through the dialogue again? No, I don't. He's actually just standing there. He does get all of his health back. I'm not a fan of that, but... It looks like he does have a minor amount of invincibility frames after you hit him as well. Which is good to know, because that means I cannot abuse hits off of him constantly. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. I'm not sure which... I think one of his attacks is doing more damage than compared to his other attacks. Like, if he does a simple swipe, then that only takes about half of a heart, but maybe that magic attack and his jumping attack will probably deal more damage. I'm going to guess. Yeah, probably. I'm gonna actually do a little bit of leaning on the fourth wall right here and sort of question, you know, if I'm actually legitimately dying all these times, and I keep coming back, when do you think this guy's gonna start catching on and get the idea that I'm actually invincible? You know, I'm pretty much, what do you call them, one of them physicians who can regenerate after every death. It could be a completely different person under this armor every time a regeneration occurs. So, you never know, maybe he'll just decide in the end, oh, Sir Jerkov, you could probably have this one, because it's clear that you are absolutely stubborn. Nothing's gonna get in your way. Let's be best friends forever. There we are! I finally defeated Edgy the Hedgy. And I am victorious, after a couple of embarrassing deaths. So, I know all of you experienced Shovel Knight players standing in the comments section shrieking at me for being totally inept at platformers. I appreciate your criticism, and I will consider it in the near future. In the meantime, I'm going to roast some marshmallows. And also take a nap. Oh. Well. Does this mean it's the end of the adventure? Catch her! I have to catch her! Did I find my girlfriend at last? Oh. I don't know what I expected. Ooh. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Shaking like a leaf. Woo! Let's dig up my campfire right here. Was I powering... Okay, I kinda see what you're doing that. Was I powering, you know, that campfire with nothing but jewels? I mean... I mean, this land is completely stacked when it comes to the currency. I don't think the economy is going to be an issue anytime soon if we could just waste precious currency to create fire. That's just the equivalent of burning money, honestly. Is there a save option in this game, actually? Curious to know. I feel like if I go back to the title screen and quick to the desktop, then that's going to cause some problems that I might have to play through this again. So I'm just gonna carry on. And, oh, plains clear. We have an entire world map. There we go, there was the saving option. Very good, very good. Well, I think this is probably gonna be a good time to maybe end the first recording. And we shall continue this playthrough onwards sometime in the near future when I feel like recording again, but it was good to get a start on it. So, I hope you enjoy the rest of the playthrough of Shovel Knight. Thank you guys very much for watching, have a great day or evening, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.